TantricGuru.com. Back in this bitch. So of course I did a poll, on my community tab or my community page. And I asked everyone, what did y'all want me to speak about moving forward? And the majority of the people voted for Tantra. And what came in second place was the tarot. So I will be speaking more about Tantra, and I will also be speaking about tarot because that's what y'all want to hear, right? So I'm going to give the people what they want. I'm going to give 93 what 93 wants, all right? So let's get into it. The title of the video is, what does it mean to be tantric? Are you really ready for Tantra? Tantra is not what you think it is. Now, what am I really speaking about here? What do I mean by Tantra is not what you think it is? Isn't this sex magic? Isn't it about, doing erotic rites? Yes and no. Let me explain. If you think Tantra is just, you know, keeping certain things on your mind while you are on the sexual act. So let me actually explain an erotic rite, because people have that confused. An erotic rite, not an erotic ritual. So I just want to make the distinction here. What most people are doing are erotic rituals. They are not practicing erotic rites. It is two completely different things. So this is what I want to clear up, because ain't nobody else gonna do it, right? What is the difference between an erotic ritual and an erotic rite? If we're speaking about an erotic ritual, which is what most people are doing anyway, most people who consider themselves spiritual conduct erotic rituals. Again, which is, having sex with a certain intent, for both parties or just one party. And then, they're cultivating the energy. They're probably trying to last as long as they can. And, this is, it's romantic or ritualistic, right? But that's an erotic ritual. That's not an erotic rite. Let me show you the difference. That's why it's not called the rituals of passage. Why do you think it's called the rites of passage? Because, I speak about a lot about the rites of passage, not the rituals of passage. Because when a person is going through a rites of passage evolves you from a child into an adult. A ritual doesn't. A ritual is just something you can do anytime you fucking want to. It's not going to make you from a man or a woman to a god. That's not what a ritual does. People do rituals every fucking day. Everybody has a morning ritual. You just getting up in the morning, hopping in the shower, brushing your teeth, washing your face, putting on the cologne, the perfume, getting yourself ready. That can technically be considered a ritual that we do every night or every morning, right? That's technically a ritual. Even though people may not view it as that, but that's technically a ritual. The whole act of sex, period, you could say is technically a ritual. Just you having sex, period, is a ritual, technically. However, if we're speaking about a rite is more along the lines of you becoming something, not just you flowing with the ethers, you can say. Meaning, when you get up and you prepare yourself for your day, you're not becoming something you wasn't before. You are the same. You're cleansing your body. You're preparing your mind for the day. You're preparing your emotions. But that's not you evolving from a human to a god, a human into a conscious being. That's not what a ritual does. That's what a rite does, right? So when a person has to go through a rites of passage, it changes them. They are no longer the same. So when we are speaking about erotic rites, this is not something that you will remain the same. This changes you. Some change will occur. And I'm not just talking about sex, magic, and manifestation. That's a ritual. A rite changes you. So if we are talking about erotic, let me give you an example of an erotic rite. An erotic rite, tantric, of course. If you do your research in Tantra, you know that what I'm saying is true. I've read the literature. An example of a rite will be people standing in a circle. So let's just say it's a man. We just use a man. A man will have to have sex with a woman, right? In a circle full of other women. So let's just say it's 24 women, and the 25th woman is in the middle of the circle having sex with the man. The man has to have sex with all of those women, not just one. Oh, let me make this clear, not just one. So what, you think you're doing a little something because you can last with one woman or you can last with one man? That's a ritual. Good for you. But that's not a rite. That doesn't change you. I dare you to try to go through 25 motherfuckers. Most people ain't doing that. I don't give a fuck how long you can last with one person. Let's just say you have 25 women waiting for you to dick them down. Let's just be graphic here, because that's what y'all want. Y'all want the most graphic shit. I'm going to be as graphic as possible. The average man cannot handle 25 women, let alone one. The average man has a problem with one woman. So you got 25 women waiting for dick. And it ain't just for 2 minutes, 12 minutes. You got to go like 25 minutes. What's 25 times 25? See? That's a rite, because that will change you. You will not be the same after that. You will not be the same after that. Because you are, did I mention that you're not supposed to let off your semen? Again, from the male perspective. So you don't get to release your semen, because you're done after that. If you release your semen, you're finished. So you don't get to, you're not going through 25 women. If you spill your seed one time, you're finished. So that means you got to hold back with all these women. Boom, boom, boom. You just knocking them out, knocking them out, knocking them out. You're not the same after that. You have absorbed energy from 25 women, and you did not release that energy. You have allowed that energy to build up with it. That energy will change who you are. You are not the same after that. Why do you think people are not even thinking on this level? Why do you think they have marriage in place? That's a Western concept. They want you to stay as far away from this as possible. That's why they only want you to have one partner. That's Western. But you see, when you go to the East, where Tantra comes from, if you take your lesson, again, I'm not saying today, in today's time, they're not even claiming Tantra. You can say we're more Tantric in the West than they are in the East now. But I'm saying in the beginnings, they were always on that time. It was never about marriage to anybody. If you are Tantric, you don't even believe in marriage. There is no way your partner is going to allow you to do some shit like that. Unless your partner is Tantric. But we know most people are not. Most people ain't allowing that shit to go down, right? What's up, Tech Man? It's 93. Most people are not going to let that shit go down, because that's how they want you to think. This is why I titled the video, Are You Truly Ready for Tantra? Because Tantra is completely opposite than the Western society that we have came up under. If you're still thinking about there's one soulmate for you, you have a twin flame out here, if you're still thinking one person has all of your answers, that's going to change your life. What's up, Immortal 72, 93. If you're still thinking one person is out there for you, and you're just limited to one person, you're not ready for Tantra. I'm just going to keep this as real as possible. You are not ready for Tantra if you're still thinking with a Western mind. The whole purpose of Tantra, again, is to conduct erotic rites, to get you out of that Western mindset. That's what you're doing. You're getting out of that Western mindset. But how many people are trying to do that? How many people are ready to destroy that Western mindset? A rite like that will destroy that. You going through 25 women, holding back your semen and absorbing and allowing yourself to cultivate that energy, that will destroy the Western concept that you have developed in your mind. You will not be the same after that. That is a right, because the goal of that right is to change your mentality. You see, that shit is glitching like a motherfucker. You see how that shit is glitching? So yeah, you see now we're going into the forbidden world. So you see, whenever it starts glitching like that, you know we're going into the forbidden, right? You see, you see. All right. So give me a second. Let me let it cool down, because you see they're trying to fuck up the message. They're trying to fuck them. So let me cool down. So give me a second. Let me just talk about some bullshit for a minute. We're going too heavy too quick. I'm going too quick. They're trying to shut it down. All right. So let me cool off for a minute. All right. You see, see, the algorithm can't even handle that shit. You see what I mean? You see, and this is YouTube. YouTube supposed to be allowing everything, right? See, YouTube don't even want that shit out here. But this is directly from the literature. This is directly from the literature. What am I supposed to do? Tell you something different? Are you truly ready for Tantra? That's the question. Are you truly ready to destroy your Western mindset? That's the question. Are you truly ready to engage in an erotic rite? Not an erotic ritual with your partner. Everybody's doing that. An erotic rite. So let's turn it to the women. How many women are ready to go through 25 dudes? How many women can truly handle that? Mentally, I ain't even talking about physically. We're talking about mentally. How many women can do that and not feel like a fucking prostitute? Not feel ashamed of themselves because of this Western mentality that we had developed. You see what I mean? Most women are not ready to do that. What's up, Dank Wizard? Not many exactly. But everybody's supposed to be tantric, right? Everybody's supposed to be doing these rituals, right? Everybody's supposed to be raising up their kundalini. Yeah, you're not fooling me. You're not fooling a person that read the literature. So I know, like, all this information on the internet, is most of that shit is bullshit, because they still speak from the perspective of a Western society, telling you what you need to be doing with your partner, and who is just one person. And Tantra is against marriage. Tantra is not pro-marriage. Tantra is not pro, okay, you just need to deal with one person. Tantra has nothing to do with that. So what they're trying to mix and dilute Tantra and make it westernized. They're trying to westernize Tantra. And all that does is create erotic rituals. That takes away the erotic rites. There's images of this. You think I'm fucking around? All you gotta do a fucking Google search. There is images of women standing in a circle and a man and a woman in the middle of this circle. You can see these images. So if you think I'm making this shit up, go look at the imagery. It's there. Especially when you deal with the mysteries of Kali, who was a tantric goddess. Right? See, Kali can handle that shit. That's what she's all about, right? That's why she has 50 skulls around her head, representing she just slayed 50 men. But you're looking at the skulls, you're thinking, okay, she's cutting off heads. It's symbolic. It's a symbolism. Oh, she fucked 50 dudes and absorbed their energy. And now she can tap into all of their frequencies. That's what that's really trying to say. Right? Just got to be by myself, and now people aren't ready to transmute heat into light. Like Maria Day, what is this? Loska. It is what it is. They're not ready because of the programming. See, we don't realize how programmed we are until we start studying shit like this. I didn't realize how programmed I was until I started studying this. Because that's all the Lima is. Like, because I'm always talking about 93, I'm always talking about the Lima. If you read the literature of the Lima, it is Tantric. It is Tantric. It's just for a westernized mind to comprehend. That's all it is. All the Lima is Tantra to be understood from it. If your mind has been westernized, this is your introduction to make your journey to the East. That's what that's about. But going through a rite of 25 people in this Western society seems impossible. So the only one you got is yourself. That's why they have secret societies. She was a Russian occultist. Okay, cool. You know, like Helena Blavatsky, right? That's why they have secret societies. This is what they do. So that's why people always talking about Hollywood and these secret societies. This is what they do. This is a lifestyle that they live. So when you hear about these orgies in Hollywood and all, this is what they do. That's why people join these societies, to do that, to engage in erotic rites. So yes, you're not going to go to no fucking public park. You're not going to go into somebody's fucking apartment and see this shit. They have created whole secret societies for this. That's the whole purpose of really, the whole purpose of having a secret society is to do this. This is why you would create a secret society, for this purpose. So that's why all secret societies, most of them are created for tantric purposes. They're not going to say that, but that's the bottom line of it. They exist for these purposes because this is what's going on behind closed doors, ritualistically. They are engaging in these types of rites to destroy your Western mind. That's why everybody hates these people, right? Why do everybody got so much smoke for Hollywood and so much smoke for these entertainers? Because this is what they're doing. This is how they can create such powerful music that influences the masses. You think they're doing that on their own? You think somebody's just inventing these words that hypnotizes the masses? And then they just distribute this all over the planet? You think one person is doing this? How do you think people are channeling their muse? Why do you think the lifestyle of an artist is a non-Western lifestyle? Because that's why people want to be rappers and shit. Why? Because you have access to all these women. Or you have access to all these men who just ready to lay down with you. Ready to engage in orgies. That's why people want to live that lifestyle. That's why people want to join that. And that's why people are willing to die for this shit. That's why so many of us are dying. Because we're not ready to live that tantric life. Meaning you can't go backwards. When you open up these doors, there is no going backwards. So that's why, like, when you see people, you know, in Hollywood and all this, and Hollywood is just one example. There's many different secret societies. I'm just using that as an example that everybody knows about, right? As we call the Illuminati, right? Everybody got all this smoke for the Illuminati when really all they're doing is practicing tantric rites. As a dragon, we definitely into Kundalini Tantric. It's such a rush, as you should. Because you see, the dragon comes from the east, right? The dragons come from the east. So the dragon puts you in that Eastern mindset, as it should, right? The serpent becomes a dragon. The dragon is just an evolved serpent, which is activation of the Kundalini on an advanced level. That's what a dragon is, right? So, of course, people want to come to their own conclusions because they're haters. People hate on things that they can't comprehend, that they don't understand. People don't understand. If you're in the West, you don't understand this. If you're out here looking for a wife, if you're out here looking for a husband, you're not going to understand Tantra. It doesn't suit your lifestyle, right? So of course they're going to hate on it. Like, well, why would people do that? They look at it as disgusting and all that. When again, if you look at porn, Another secret society. The pornography industry. That's another secret society. But you see, these people are very clean. These people have to get tested all the time. These people are more clean than the average person. You're more likely to catch something fucking with a regular person than a porn star because they have to constantly get tested. But we look at these people as dirty. Like, no, these people actually have to have extreme discipline. Because the moment they slip up, their money stop. The moment you slip up, your money stops. So you got to be more disciplined than the average person out here who just looking for anybody to fuck on. But you see, of course, you have haters. So, of course, the hater is going to hate on the porn stars who have to be more disciplined than them. So, of course, they're going to hate on them because they're not qualified whatsoever. Not because they can't physically handle it, because they can't mentally handle it. That's why the video, are you truly ready for Tantra? Tantra is not what you think it is. This is not about erotic rituals. This is about erotic rites to destroy your Western mindset. And if you're not ready to destroy your Western mindset, then you're not ready for Tantra. Because that is what Tantra is. I'm just giving it to you in the rawest form possible. Let everybody else tell you about that romantic cute ass shit. I'm going to give it to you in the rawest way possible so that you know this is straight from the source. This is straight from the literature. This is nothing I'm making up. I'm not trying to sugarcoat it. I'm not trying to mix it up and make it westernized. I'm not doing any of that. We're going to keep it raw and authentic. Because that's my responsibility to do. So that's what y'all want to hear. I'm like, I got to give y'all what y'all want. But I'm not going to sugarcoat it so that you know what you're getting yourself into if that's what you decide to do with yourself. All right? I'm not telling anybody what to do. I'm just letting you know this is what it is. So if you thought it was something else, I'm just here to correct that so that you don't go along the wrong path thinking that, okay, I'm still, again, let the spiritual people have the twin flames. Let the spiritual people have the soulmates. All that's westernized. All that's Western shit. Like, okay, this one person that's just going to fulfill me completely. Okay, keep thinking that shit. And again, salute to anybody who, whatever lifestyle you choose to live. I'm not saying Tantra's for everybody because clearly it's not. Clearly it's not. It's not for majority of the people. Majority of the people will never do this. Just look at, again, it ain't that many porn stars. Right? There's a lot of pornography, but you see, it be the same people. Just think about it. When you were growing up and you were looking at porn, like a lot of it was the same people. It wasn't a big hundreds of thousands of people. It'd be like the same dudes. It'd just be different women, but it'd be like the same group of dudes. Tell me if I'm lying, it'd be like the same group of dudes. Because most people ain't qualified, right? Most people, again, most men can barely handle their own women, let alone 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. They're just not. They're just, they again, it's the mental. It's not the physical, it's the mental. Their mentality will not allow them to comprehend that because they're still chasing their orgasm. They're still trying to ejaculate. The average man out here is just looking for a nut. Let's just be honest. So that's why they want one partner. They just want pussy at home. I'm just being as raw as possible. They just want to work their job. They want to come onto a piece of ass and bust off. That's the average dude's life. They just want something at home so they don't have to go out seeking for it every day. So of course they'll pay your bills. That's why women want husbands, right? They want a husband to pay the bill to take care of everything. They just want to be the pussy at home. That's just what it is. Because if you take the pussy away, it ain't no husband and wife. Ain't no man about to pay no bills, about to take care of a woman, and that woman is not laying down with them. So you see, it's still based on sex. But that's because there is no erotic rights. Because if you add in the erotic rights, you see it's a whole different type of lifestyle, which the average person is not ready for and they will never be ready for. So that's why I'm bringing it to your attention. Is it something that you really want? Because like, everybody wanted me to talk about this, but like, is this something you really want? Are you really just ready to destroy your Western mindset? Right? Most men can't handle their right hand, of course not. Because they want to release semen. They're not trying to cultivate the semen. They just want to release it. All right? That is a sign of not being disciplined. Because if you can't handle your own hand, how are you going to handle a woman? If you can't handle one woman, how can you handle two? If you can't handle two, how can you handle three? See? How do we activate the Kundalini energy with Tantra breath work? It's a sexual act itself. Meaning, if you got 25 women, and the only thing you got to do as a man is to hold back your semen, if breathing helps you to do that, then by all means breathe. Do whatever type of breathing exercise you want to breathe. There is not a specific breathing exercise. Just whatever allows you to hold back your semen. Because you're good. You got a lot of work to do. Clearly, you got a lot of work to do. So you use whatever breathing exercise you want to use, as long as it keeps your semen inside of your body so that you can cultivate it and you can absorb the feminine currency from the women. Do whatever breathing exercise you want to do. All right? So it's just really that, I'm not going to say it's that simple. It really ain't that simple. I guess it's that straightforward. But is it something that you really want? Right? Are you really the porn star you think you are? Right? Are you really the sex symbol you think you are? Because if you are, then this actually shouldn't be hard to do at all. Right? It'll be nothing, it ain't this is nothing. If you have mentally prepared yourself, this is just a walk up the park. Honestly. Because this is what we're here to do. If you are an occultist, you're not an occultist just because of what it does for you mentally. You're also an occultist for what it does for you physically. That's why Tantra is the base of the occult. You can't really consider yourself an occultist if you're not applying the sexual currency, the sexual rights. So it don't matter if you're studying Aleister Crowley. It don't matter if you're studying anybody who's into the occult. You're going to run into some tantric rites. You're going to run into the tantric rites. But you see, people are too jealous. People are too envious to even consider this. That's what it is. Like, the only thing that's holding people back is their own negative emotions. It's too much jealousy. It's too much hate. It's too much envy. Right? That's why people destroyed their whole relationships, because somebody cheated. You see how we even call it, Joe. They cheated. People are ready to throw everything away. It's too taboo. Exactly. Because they're humans. I'm just going to call them what they are. They are humans. They are spirits. That's all they are. So, of course, a human is not going to comprehend the consciousness of a god, the consciousness of a goddess, because that's what you're supposed to become. Meaning, when you are engaging in these rites, you are supposed to become Shiva. You are supposed to become Kali. You're not just channeling her, you become her. That's why you're absorbing this energy. You're doing it to change yourself, to evolve yourself. This is just the necessary energy you need to absorb in order to do so, that we call the divine masculine and the divine feminine. You know how many people use that term but don't mean it? There is no way to be the divine feminine or the divine masculine if you have not transformed yourself with an erotic rite. That is something you evolve to due to erotic rituals and erotic rites. You are absorbing all of this energy to transform yourself. Not to just have a good night with your partner and a romantic night. That's what married people do. That's the married life. And if that's you, by all means, live out that life. Again, I'm just only speaking to the people that wanted me to speak about Tantra. I'm just giving you a heads up so that you understand what you're getting yourself into, so you really know what you're asking for. Are you truly ready to evolve into Kali? Are you truly ready to evolve into Shiva and live that lifestyle? Because you see, there's nothing cute about it. You have to put in work, more work than the average person is willing to put in. You have to be more disciplined than the average person. There's nothing average about this lifestyle. You have to be supernatural. That's why you're engaging in all these things, to become supernatural, not to become average, not to get you a bad bitch, right? Just using everyday terms here. No disrespect to anybody. You're not doing it just to have something nice on your arm. But you see the average dude, that's all they're for. Again, it's hard for me to even think in these terms. That's why I don't even like talking about these people. I'm like, this shit don't make no sense to me. But it makes sense to somebody. All right? But people are just going to be who they are based on their energy level. That's why I always speak about spiritual rank. I've always been speaking about spiritual rank because that's all people are going to live out. People are just going to do what they're capable of doing. I mean, if you can only handle one woman, then you're going to live a lifestyle that allows you to handle one woman. Now, you know, people are going to live their life based on their energy level. So if they know they can't handle multiple women, then they're not trying to engage. They're just fine with one woman. They're not trying to cheat. You know what I mean? And then when people do cheat again, it really ain't nothing, honestly. Let's just be honest. Let's just be honest. It really ain't about nothing either. You ain't really laying down no pipe like that. Let's just be honest here. The most women that a dude has is two. You got your main women, then you got the side piece. That's the average dude that's it for them. That's it for them. Two. So let alone 25. Back to back to back to back to back to back to back. The average woman ain't out here just going from just hopping dick to dick to dick to dick, unless she's a prostitute. But you see, that's the most hated woman on the planet, though. I wonder why. I wonder why. Hopefully this helps you to understand why prostitutes are so hated by average women. Why they got so much smoke for the women who can destroy these men, have these men just fucked over. That's why the average dude hates the so-called pimp, who's able to manage all these women, because he knows how to hold his semen. So of course people want to hate what they can't do. Of course people want to hate. Of course these are the most hated people on the planet. Of course they are, because you can say they are the only ones who are manifesting the true tantric lifestyle. Let's just be honest. We don't have to sugarcoat this shit. Who else is truly manifest? Again, if you're not a fucking porn star or pimp, a prostitute or a porn star, then who else is manifesting the true tantric lifestyle? They are the only ones who are comfortable manifesting that currency over here. So of course they're going to be the most hated. The closest thing is like a voodoo cult. You know, because, you know, this has been going down in like voodoo cults. Have you ever been a pimp? Why you asking me that? Why you asking me that? You know, is this the? I don't want to incriminate myself here. I'm not gonna incriminate myself here. Hold on. It's a lot of glitching. Hold on. Let's slow it down. We getting too crazy, right? You see, whenever it starts glitching, we going too deep. So let me cool it down. All right, let me cool it down. Let me cool it down. All right, give me a second. I'm gonna cool down. Give me a second to cool down here. All right, so give me a second. I've been eating these chili mangoes. So we'll take a brief intermission. Let's take an intermission. I mean, we heating up the algorithm right now. Give me a second here. Just gonna take a brief intermission. What's up, the Terapath? Peace, peace, peace. But yes, I agree with the tantric lifestyle. That's all I want to say. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm gonna say, right? But I had to come into that understanding, though. I had to come to the understanding. I'm like, I'm not husband material. I'm not husband material. I'm like, all right, so, because husband means housebound, right? I'm like, am I housebound? I'm like, I'm not here to be no woman's husband. Wait, what? Oh, wait. That never made sense to me. Again, I converted to Islam when I was 15 years old. So let me just tell you my actual story. I converted to Islam when I was 15 because you are allowed to have 4 wives. As a Muslim man, you are allowed to have 4 wives. So when I was hearing about this at 15, I'm like, yo, I need that. So I took my Shahada at 15 because I'm like, yo, you can have more than one woman. I'm like, yo, that blew my mind. I'm like, oh shit. So at 15, I knew, I'm like, yo, I'm not meant to be just preserved for just one woman. That's not what I came here to be. I can't speak for nobody else. But I know I made that decision when I was 15, and that was a long ass time ago. So from that point on, I'm like, all right, yeah, it's for me to be something alternative. So that was my only alternative at that point, at that moment. As I began to evolve and, educate myself more and more, I'm like, okay, I see why I made that decision. I see why that intrigued me at that age. Because I never saw myself as a husband, as housebound. You know what I mean? I was never looking at a wife like, okay, one woman is supposed to be my all. She is supposed to fulfill me completely 100%. Like, I'm like, why would I put that on one woman? This is just how my mind was working. I'm like, why would I put that all on one woman's shoulder? Like, she is supposed to do everything. Because I know I'm a lot to handle. I'm like, okay, why would I put that on one woman? So not only do you got to handle my sex drive, you got to handle my energy, you got to handle all this. You see, I be on here, I can talk 5, 6, 7, 8 hours. I'm like, do I really want to put that on one woman? Me running my mouth for hours at a time, putting the game down, putting the dick down, like one woman is supposed to be able to handle all that? Right? But that's just me, right? Can't speak for nobody else. So again, I'm not here to, if you don't resonate with it, it's all good. It's just for the people, because this is what people wanted me to talk about, right? I did the poll, and this is what people want to hear. So I'm just giving the people what they want, right? And of course, I have to speak from my own perspective, right? So that's why I'm like, yeah, I'm not out here chasing after women, because I know the average woman, I'm too much for the average woman. I'm like, that's like, it just makes me not interested in them. Just to be 100% honest, like, I'm not interested in the average woman. I'm like, I have too much energy. I'm like, I got way too, and the last thing I'm about to do is deal with some type of jealousy and envy and thinking about where I'm at and where I'm going and am I cheating. I'm like, get the fuck out of here with any of that shit. It's like the average woman's mind is like get out of here. Like, yeah, get out of my way. So that's why, like, it's easy for me not to deal with the average woman or the woman with a Western mind. I'm like, I ain't got no time for that. Again, but that's me personally. I have no interest of a woman blowing up my phone and just knowing like what's going on with my whereabouts. That's not my perspective. Can't speak for no one else. So that's why I resonate with Tantra. But I've known this since I was 15. Right? I've known this for a very long time now. But again, that's just me personally. So of course I resonated with the pimp lifestyle. I did videos on it, right? If you know the history, you already know. I was going hard with that energy. Go back to 2015. I was here. Go back to 2015. The videos are still up. Go do your history. I done spoke a lot about pimping. I done spoke a lot about hoes. I done did the origins of pimping and hoeing. The videos are up. Just go through the archives. It's already there. Yep, 2015, 2018. The arc is up. The archives is there. So of course I resonated with the pimp lifestyle. Cause I'm like, oh, you can deal with all these women. This one man can deal with all these women. Sign me up. Of course that interested me because I'm like, yo, what other lifestyle? Again, this is before I was deep into Tantra, right? What's up, Polk? Or Pone, I don't want to say your name wrong. So what's up, Punk? OF. Hello. You know, forgive me if I mispronounce your name. So that's what it is, you know? So I went hard with that because that's what I resonated with. Because I'm like, yo, who else? I can't see nobody else. Ponco, okay, okay. Salute to you, salute to you. So I was saying I don't see nobody else living a tantric lifestyle other than a pimp. You know what I mean? That was the only person that I had or a porn star. Right? So and you see, I'm like, that's why I be talking about porn, right? So you see, I've been talking about porn. I didn't put out the porn. I didn't release tantric content, pippish content. Like everything I've been releasing, you see, is all in the same circle, right? If you late to the live, it ain't about nothing. You can always replay it whenever you want. These videos gonna always be up, so you ain't missing nothing. You ain't missing nothing. You can always hit the replay button whenever you like. So yeah, if you truly study my history, that's all I've been talking about is the tantra, pimping, pornography. I did the video how pornography leads to enlightenment. I've been talking about that since the beginning, all right? Because that's what I resonated with on a personal level. Again, not speaking for nobody else. But I had to come into the understanding of why that is, right? What's up, sister? What's up, sister? I ain't seen you in a minute. Salute to you. Shout out to Detroit. I'm wishing you the best. I'm wishing you well. I ain't seen you in a minute. Much love and respect to you. Yeah. Much love and respect to you. Much love and respect to you. Shout out to you. Let's see, I feel uncomfortable. Got my family in here. Oh, shit, I feel uncomfortable. I've been talking crazy. Oh, man, it's all good. It's all good. You'll be out there for your 30th, for my 30th. VL. Oh, birthday. Okay. 30th. Like VI. All right. You'll be out there for the 30th. Okay. Yeah, we'll be here. We'll be waiting on you. Salute to you. We all miss you. We holding it down over here. So we'll be waiting for your arrival. All right. So it's all good. Much love and respect to you. See? Why my family got to pop over when I'm talking crazy? I've been talking crazy as why they popping up on me and just pulled up on me like that. But no, we just talking crazy. But is it really crazy though? But yeah, hopefully, I'm not even gonna talk with food in my mouth. I'm not gonna even do that. Let me finish this. I ain't even gonna talk. But hopefully y'all get where I'm coming from, right? Hopefully y'all understand where I'm coming from. And if you resonate, then you know who you are, right? And don't allow yourself to be anything else. Is it going to be hard? Absolutely. Are you going to be misunderstood? Absolutely. Are you going to be judged? Absolutely. All that's coming for you, right? Are you going to be hated? Absolutely, right? But that don't change the truth. That don't change who you are, right? That don't change the mission you came here to complete on this physical plane. So if this is your mission, then you must complete it, or you're going to have to reincarnate and do it all over again. And who the fuck wants to do that? Who the fuck wants to repeat something that they can complete this time around? So if you decide to come back around, you'll have a whole nother mission. You'll be on a whole nother level, right? So that's why we do our best to make sure that we complete our mission here while we have the time, while we are alive, while we are healthy, right? While we have the ability to make it happen, so that we cleanse that karma and we move on to the next mission, right? People came here exclusively for Tantra. That's why we have literature, Tantric literature. You have Tantric masters. They have been mastering this art in the East forever. It's only recently, in recent times, that they distanced themselves from it, right? So again, if you go to India now, they're not going to be speaking about Tantra. They're not promoting that lifestyle because they're modern now. They're mainstream now, so they're not going to be promoting it here. Well, there. The only place we see it promoted really is here, with the porn industry or with the pimping, right? So you got to come to the West to even comprehend this and to truly live it out, unless you join a secret society and you got to do it behind the scenes. It's only here that you can do it in front of people with a camera in your face, right? That's what a porn star does. You put the camera up, so again, where you ain't really seeing that in too many places, where it's just accepted, where it's a whole industry behind it. So that's when the East meets the West. What makes the East meets the West? It's Tantra. Because when Tantra came over here, you see it changed the game. Did pornography not change the game? It changed the game. It set a whole nother precedent. That's why they say, people are addicted to porn. Right? It's all over the place. You have fucking porn addicts, right? But what is so addictive about it? It's because people know the lifestyle that they want to live, but they're not comfortable living it out. That's all it is. It has nothing to do with you just being addicted to some type of video, right? It has nothing to do with the sexual positions and all that. People are not addicted to that. It's the lifestyle. So let's just be honest about it. It's the lifestyle that's addictive. Because they know the only way to experience that is vicariously through the pornography. Because you see, pornography been on the planet forever. That's why you can go to the Indian temples and you see, naked women all over the temple walls. You see people in sexual positions. So this pornography has been on the planet forever. It's only recently that it's been on the planet in this form, in video form. So even if we say porn has been on the planet forever, but you didn't hear people being considered porn addicts until the video form came out. All right, so just making that clear. It wasn't until the video form of pornography was released that now all of a sudden people can become porn addicts. But you wasn't a porn addict when you were going into the temple and you was looking at those tantric positions. They didn't consider that a porn addict. When you wanted to go to Kali's temple and look at, the capabilities that a woman can possess or a man can possess, you wasn't a porn addict then. You wasn't a porn addict, when we were in Egypt or Kemet practicing our Tantra. So it's all over the planet. It wasn't until it came to the West. Now all of a sudden it's demonic. It's satanic when it comes over here. Because people are just hating on the obvious. That's all it is. People are just hating on it. Because you see, this has been here, and it ain't going nowhere. It's been here and ain't going nowhere, but because it's over here in the form it's in, because they don't want you to embrace the tantric lifestyle, so they make you feel bad or you're a porn addict. The last thing they want you to do is embrace the tantric lifestyle. So that's why they make you feel bad about yourself. Because you want to engage in that or you enjoy that. Pushing your sexuality to the limits, even going into the astral plane. Of course they don't want you doing that. Going into the succubus and the incubus. Of course they don't want you to doing that. Messing with vampires. Of course they don't want you to do that. Because all that do is advance your kundalini and that makes you more divine. So why would they want you to become more divine? So of course they're going to push it in your face like you're just the scum of the earth. Of course they would. Of course they want you to think that. Anything to keep your mind westernized. So that's what it is. Anything to keep your mind westernized. So they're going to pull out all the stops, right? Again, that's why we have this narcissistic, content all over the internet. Right? Anything to keep you in a Western mindset. Right? But I think I made my point, right? I made my point. So with that, I bear peace. 93, 93, 93.